simply for that system to survive. When you see all the wars, and when you see all the pain, and when you see all the suffering, is it a force of love?
Hello and welcome to the first episode of Mystic and the Machine.
It's been so long, like 2 months. Sorry for keeping you waiting so long.
For our old audience, from Low Society podcast, this has obviously been a big transition for us, adding video, doing a live stream, all sorts of things, but we hope that this is going to be a more fun and like engaging experience for everyone. So yeah, here we go.
Here we go. It's midnight here in London, so we apologize if we're like a little tired,
A little drowsy,
a little stoned.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too much, but hey, it's good energy to bring into the new show. You know,
Jake also got sick this weekend as well.
I did. I managed to get sick right in time for our first show, so I do apologize about that as well. But you know, hey, you got to roll with the punches. It's just how it is these days.
2023 has been pretty weird so far, don't you think?
I keep calling it 2022. Like it doesn't even register still that we're 2023.
We're like halfway through February. Like, I can't believe how quickly it's gone.
I know, it's literally just become Valentine's Day.
Oh shit, yeah, it's tomorrow. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh my god, I forgot. Happy Valentine's Day. I don't know, Valentine's Day and my birthday, because my birthday was a couple of weeks ago, it tends to kind of meld in to each other, so like I don't really like pay much attention to it. It's just like a few weeks of gifts and events and nice dinners. So
well, I feel like the vibe shift has definitely come into full swing now, and with like all the new kind of emerging technologies that people are getting their hands on, and the sort of, I don't know, there was some scientific thing I read the other day where the actual core of the Earth is shifting in the opposite direction now. I feel like that's kind of...
Wait, what?
Yeah, so like in 2009 or something like that, the core stopped moving. And then recently, I think they've sort of been talking about it. Actually, it started to go the other way now. And so, I mean, that aligning with the sort of vibe shift, I feel like is just absolutely perfect. It's just this all like physical and metaphysical and everything together, as above, so below.
How does that work, though? How does that work? How does the core of the Earth just like stop? Doesn't that like affect everything?
Yeah, you'd think so.
You'd think
it's going to have some further. You'd think it's going to have some further geological effects and some like environmental effects. And to be fair, I think there are some doomsday people that do say that, oh, this comes into the same like alignment of cycles with fucking the start of like environmental collapse and this kinds of things, which then obviously some people say is like an anti-climate change conspiracy theory and all this kind of stuff. So I don't want to start off on YouTube's bad foot here. This is a fresh channel.
Yeah, this is a fresh channel.
Right, we're 3 minutes into our first stream. I don't want to start bringing in the anti-climate change conspiracy theories, but that's definitely what people sometimes say.
Well, I guess for me, the biggest thing has been like, for the last couple of years, everyone's been complaining that there hasn't been a major shift in technology since like iPhones and like smartphones and stuff.
Yeah.
And like we've all been like pissing and like moaning about it, but now like all this like new AI shit has emerged, and now everyone's like pissing the bed and like wants to go back to the before times.
Well, I laugh because I mean, if that's the last big shift, do we want another one? Like
that's what I'm saying.
I'm a big advocate of the idea of trying to extrapolate as much of your life out of the Omni device as possible, because I feel like that is what will bring you back in touch with living your life, and you'll feel much more connected to all the things and people you love.
Yeah.
If you don't do it constantly through this like one thing.
Yeah.
You know, I've recently got into photography and all of this kind of
Here
stuff.
we go.
Even down
Jake's
to like,
gonna have a huge spur. Wait, show them your cameras.
Well, okay, so I've got Angie is a super sweet.
Show them what you got.
Angie's a super sweet, lovely, amazing gal, as you all know, and she got me this Polaroid for Christmas, which I've loved.
It's like an old school, like Stranger Things.
It is. Oh man, that's gonna be. We should do one like this. This
like
would be great of all the stream.
Is there any
stuff?
Is there any like film in there?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because it's fucking £20 for fucking 8 Polaroid pictures.
Yeah,
now
it's so expensive now.
Which is like, you know, I have this habit of like picking kind of expensive hobbies ever since I've picked up bass.
Yeah.
Like, it's just gotten gradually more expensive. Then what do you like? Building your own studio. Okay, that's fucking expensive. What else do you like? Synthesizers. Yep, fucking expensive. Fucking expensive, especially if you want to play more than one note at a time.
It's why you're so hard to shop for. It's why like I dread every birthday and Christmas because I know the only thing that makes you happy is like
you just get
toys.
More classy shirts like this, and I'll be absolutely fucking fine, mate.
I've got you many shirts that you've called gay, like many times.
Hey, I don't use homophobic slurs. Come on, again, we're not even 10 minutes into our first stream here.
Sorry.
We want to keep
the
Google gods happy with us.
My bad. But back to what you were saying, like
film is another fucking super expensive hobby. So I just picked another. Oh no, the one before that, oil painting, another fucking expensive hobby.
That was another one. And then bike riding, because we were like really into.
You were more on the bike riding. That wasn't really me.
Skateboarding
was actually probably my cheapest manageable hobby. But that requires you kind of bruising up your legs every week as well, and I do have to go to work and stuff, and I can't be crippling around and everyone be like, why are you walking with a limp? You're only like, in your friggin' 20s or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, that would be tragic. But
I guess the major thing that I was like thinking of, like connected to what you were saying about extracting everything out of the Omni device. Hang on, guys. Sorry a sec. We need to press the button on our camera so it doesn't turn off. 2 seconds. But yeah, as I was saying, I'll just keep talking. Yeah, as I was saying, you were talking about extracting stuff out of the Omni device and how it like gives you a better experience of life.
All the things that you do, think about it. Like you're streaming content. Everything that you love has been reduced to content through this fucking Omni device to capture your attention and sell you fucking adverts. Like that's the whole business model of our largest technological revolution.
Yeah.
Has been whittling down your fucking mind to just go onto this one thing and get all of these different companies trying to get your attention from this one thing or a different version of this one thing. Your phone is just a small version of a laptop essentially now without a keyboard because of the processing power and everything else. Yeah. So it's all become, watching. I see people on the tube watching movies and TV shows and stuff on the tube, and I'm just like, sorry, especially someone that sort of works around cinema and stuff. I cannot fathom watching a movie on my laptop is already such a sacrifice to me. You're already like sacrificing so much of the original intent and vision of the creator by watching it in this really compromised situation. To reduce it down to a fucking phone that's screen. Like not even as big as your hand
it's
to
kind
watch
of
it
sacrilegious.
On is quite insulting, I think, for a filmmaker.
But even then, like we've not been able to mitigate.
If you're watching Big Bang Theory, like who gives a shit? If you're watching The Lighthouse, give it a fucking go to the Prince Charles, go to a big cinema or something.
But even then, like we also like haven't fully mitigated like the psychological fallout of the smartphone and how much that kind of like shifted things.
Yeah, exactly.
And now there's this whole other like wave of technology coming that's going to come with its own bag of psychological consequences. And it's like
industry shifting consequences.
Yeah, industry shifting consequences, psychological consequences, economic consequences, everything. Like I don't think people really understand. I didn't fully understand, to be honest, until the beginning of this year, just like how much things are gonna fucking shift. Like because of all of
it's
this.
just where the focus has been. I think a lot of people thought, especially, I don't know, when I remember sort of in uni, in my first year of uni, I went back and I worked in this noodle restaurant. And everyone got really excited because this guy came in and he had a set of the Google glasses.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
And so like there was this big idea that the future was going to be wearables and this sort of extended reality or augmented reality or whatever, however you want to call it. And so a lot of people sort of thought that was going to be like the way that all of the sort of tech investment went and everything. But it really feels like now that there's a few people going down that route, but actually the big cheeses, which is really Microsoft and Google at the end of the day, they've got these hedged bets now on these two competing like brains or different brains that can do different things. Like Google has a music one, a language one like ChatGPT, which is OpenAI, which is Microsoft.
Yeah.
So like this is the distinction.
Didn't you say recently Google didn't their stock plummet because of ChatGPT or something along those lines?
Yeah. Well, not because of the Lambda exercise that they did. Yeah. So their one is Lambda. Yeah. For the text one.
Yeah.
And basically, they did a demonstration where it's I can't even remember the basic questions it said, but it said something about what some facts about the James Webb Telescope that I could tell my 9-year-old about to get them like excited about space, or something very innocent and wholesome like that. And it came back and was like, oh, the James Webb Telescope was the first time we've ever taken pictures of an exoplanet in human history. And then all of these like astrophysicists that were actually part of the very large telescope in Europe that I can't remember, it's got a really ridiculous silly name like that which is just like quite, if a bunch of European scientists named something, it would have a silly name like that. But they did it in like 2004 or 2008 or something like this, and it's like kind of known. You could Google that really easily and it would come up. And so the fact that this lambda thing just said like something that was really easily fact checkable and like completely incorrect made the stock price plummet like $100 billion or something like this. So there's a lot of focus and attention on like who's going to be the competing, like the dominating force in a lot of this.
Of course, yeah.
And Microsoft have actually just employed the next version of ChatGPT in Bing. So if you're a Microsoft Edge user and you use Bing as the search engine, which I actually have converted to now. I've kind of fucked off Google and decided to fuck you. But even though I've started a fresh YouTube channel, I do want it to grow, so don't let that hinder anything. But I love you, Google. But at the same time, like I've switched over to Bing just to give it a go. And now especially they've got all these crazy new AI features in it. I think they're gonna be onto something, mate.
Like you might as well be speaking ancient Aramaic, because it's like I don't understand any of what you're saying. Like all I hear is like demons, demons, more demons. I don't know. I feel really mixed about it, because there are some like exciting like possibilities, obviously, but at the same time there are a lot of like unforeseen consequences. Like for instance, like for writing, like there's this like this debate going on, like whether using ChatGPT is like a dilettantish, like stupid thing to do, or whether using it to create multiple drafts of your work in your voice that you can then go back and use your ingenuity and creativity to edit, increases your workflow, it extends possibilities, it's more of like a tool to enhance your already like innate abilities in a certain way. But at the same time, I also feel like the cultural landscape is about to get a lot more surreal and weirder, because people are just going to generate a whole bunch of shit. Like I can even imagine stuff like fake riot footage being like in order to like spark outrage and like.
So much shit's been generated now already though.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier.
But it's just like.
Or like if BuzzFeed is all of a sudden being done by ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Who's going to be mad?
No one. Didn't they just fire half of their...
The people that were writing fucking mindless, dumb shit for Buzzkill will be.
Yeah.
Buzzkill. BuzzFeed. But, fucking... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, if that was already where you're at, like, sorry, but maybe you... Like, it's not like Ernest Hemingway would be worried that ChatGPT exists.
Of course. But just in terms of, like, how the internet is really built on these, like, models that are, like, guaranteed success. So everyone's attempting to slot themselves into one of these kinds of categories. And in a sense, doing that kind of makes you into a bot, because you're just kind of repeating the conventions of whatever you think is going to make you successful. So say you're like a beauty influencer, there's a blueprint for that. If you're a political pundit, there's a blueprint for that. If you're on the left or the right, there's a blueprint for that. And like, I feel like everyone kind of acts like bots already. Like it's so normal to be a fucking bot now that it's going to be so difficult to tell the difference between like bots and actual like humans.
Well, that kind of bleeds into the dead internet theory. That is something I'm kind of not like fully subscribed to, but definitely I feel like this bigger component of digital life than people realize. And it's the idea that actually like 90 or like, most of the internet percentage wise is actually like completely manufactured. And not manufactured like, manufactured in all sorts of ways. Manufactured like they're just bots.
Yeah.
Like they're just making botting comments, botting all sorts of things. So it looks like you're in this like active sea of like, digital citizens fucking everywhere. When really, it's just you.
Yeah.
In this empty corridor full of like a bunch of nothing.
In your own like demiurgic prison.
Yeah. And so I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not convinced that like it's a real threat yet.
No, I don't think it's a threat. I just think it's kind of. I think the culture is just gonna get a lot more surreal because of this like hyper real like.
I think when those video tools come into power, for like and come into the hands of like regular ordinary people a lot more. Like you saw a little bit with all the deepfake stuff that happened. Yeah. That was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna get fucking crazy.
Yeah. There was that like scandal recently with the chick who someone in the chat said something. Oh, we've been ignoring the chat.
Been ignoring the chat.
Whole time.
We've been
How
so
rude.
used to the old school podcaster fashion with thinking that no one's here with us, but you guys are here with us.
Hello.
Richard Smithson says, at least your Polaroid, you've got the pictures printed. I've never remember to print my phone pics. Well, yeah, this is a big part of it. Like, the more you take your experiences out of your fucking iPhone or your Android or whatever the goddamn demon device that we're all attached to is these days, the more you're gonna, you make the effort to look at them, fucking print them, make an album, and then you'll have that for, like, when you come back and actually want to look at them, and it's not like, oh shit, that was on my old phone, and now it's gone, and I forgot to back them up, and I can't remember, like, every phone basically up until this one, I have lost all of the photos. The only good ones remain are the ones that did end up on Facebook, but I've not really been posting on Facebook like that for 4 years. Yeah. So there's probably the last 4 years of my life where there's no really good photos, and that's just gone forever. Yeah. And that's because of you know what makes me worry is like people who have babies, like kids who are born now. Like, will there be unless their parents like take painstaking effort, will there be any record of their like childhood? Like, all right, and seeing as we're coming down to the next one, he's got a second comment, which was, don't butcher my name pronunciation or you're banished to Brazil, which is going to be a challenge. I'm going to give it my best shot. Do you want to give it your best shot first?
No, I'm not going to try it. I'm not giving it a shot.
Guilherme Faleiros. I'm going to give that, that's my best shot, bro. That's a college fucking try there. He says, "Oh my god, Jake does not look how he sounds." Yeah, what the fuck's that supposed to mean? What do you think I sound like? You think I sound like I don't know. Yeah, that is a really interesting. I know, right? I know, right? How rude. What was I saying? Yeah, like another thing that I find super interesting is Replica was recently banned in Italy. They like hit it with like this huge data ban because of concerns about child safety, like obviously like the data of kids, and also like the fact that they feel like it's psychologically harmful for like kids and like people with mental illnesses. And for those of you who don't know what Replica is, it's like a AI companion, and the CEO who created it because she lost a friend tragically and basically wanted something to comfort her through her process of grief, but now she's sort of going around in the media espousing it as this like cure all to the ills of social alienation. Like, she's really like pushing that in this like really like diabolical way. Like, she's like literally speaking about it as if it's like the cure for atomization. Yeah, and I feel like that was the plot of a Black Mirror episode, wasn't it? I mean, yeah, for sure. No, it was where like they made you like. It was the girl whose husband or boyfriend died, and then it's the one where they simulate the time for ages and stuff, isn't it? To make the consciousness of the dead person or the version of a person, the copy of a consciousness, like behave itself and do whatever you say. Yeah, like speeding up time for 1,000 years and leaving in a white box or whatever. Yeah. So like, I mean, it maybe who knows how they do it with the modern way. Like, but I feel like these timelines are kind of aligning, where like Black Mirror was around that time, like 2016, 2017. Mm-hmm. Like that's not far off. So because this woman literally seen this and then been like, oh shit. My friend just died. I've got all this code and technology fucking knowledge. Let's fucking go. Well, no, I think she's been working on it for long before Black Mirror was like a thing. And I also, she's also like going around sort of touting it as like the cure for like alienation. And lots of people are taking that seriously, especially because like the advertising, I don't know if you've seen any of the ads for
that have been floating around lately.
Oh, they're creepy as fuck.
Yeah, and it's literally like explicitly saying, do you need a friend? This is gonna like be here for you. Like all this like really weird like coercive stuff. And I think it's really interesting that Italy has decided to take a stand against it, because it's super rare that governments will like stand up for the social fabric, especially when it comes to like the ways in which corporations profit from like eroding that.
Well, the French did for Uber.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of examples.
The EU is much better than like America and Britain. Let's just say.
Is it?
Let's just say facts.
Is it Mrs. Brexit?
I feel like
is the EU better?
No, I didn't mean that. I meant they're better on certain things. I didn't mean they're better on everything. But I mean they're better on certain things than America and Britain, especially when it comes to stuff like that, because like we will just let the market do whatever the fuck it wants, including like advertising these cute little cartoon friends to children and telling them that it's okay to form like social bonds with like demons that live in machines. Like it's just, I don't know, it's so wrong.
Well, we found a funny video of a guy talking about this replica AI thing. Should we give it a watch and test out our streaming powers?
Yeah,
let's see if we can switch to a third scene. Oh my god.
Yeah,
this is gonna get exciting, guys.
So one of the guys in the chat just said he thought you were like a blonde, tall, white guy.
I know. I am literally the opposite of that.
Why
so I am really sorry to disappoint.
But why the fuck?
I don't know
would
what
you...
about my voice commands a blondness.
Yeah.
Is it like an Aryan?
You sound Aryan.
It's a
nobility to your to your voice.
I feel like my brown hair and my oliveness is actually what kind of makes me blend into like any other country I go to. If I go to Turkey, if I go to fucking Spain, if I go anywhere, they're like, "Hey, ¿qué cosa?" I was like, "Hey, no, I'm
offended.
I'm English."
I'm offended that this guy would think I'd be attracted to like the Aryans like as well. Like, why would you assume that would be my type?
Oh dear. All right. Well, let's see this video and let's see what's going
on. So I was on Instagram and I just got an ad about this. Replica is a #1 chatbot companion powered by artificial intelligence. Now, before I show you the ad that led me to this page, let's take a second and discover Replica through this Instagram page. And judging by these posts, it looks like what it says. It is the AI companion, your AI friend.
They had your horoscope.
Wow.
Look, they've got all sorts of ones. You're going to love this, Angie. I'm surprised you've not signed up yet. They got philosophy. They've got one for Scientologists. They've got a personality test. They've got, hang on,
it is
sci-fi. Like, what is this? Just
wait, so wait, I could make
horoscopes.
Oh my god, no way!
It'll give you horoscopes.
I could make an AI guy like read my horoscope daily.
He can just be like your tarot reader or like your horoscope.
I already kind of do that with ChatGPT. Like seriously, it's not a bad astrologer. It's a decent astrologer. I would rather do that than like have some weird sim character like fucking try and make me pay more for nudes or whatever. It's like fucking weird.
Jake sounds so regal, but he's a true hobbit of the Shire. I don't know if I sound regal. I definitely, if you listen to Prince Charles or King Charles, fucking hell, let's not get a treason charge against me right now. King Charles, if you listen to King Charles or like any of the royal families, that's regal. Like in the UK,
I think it's because they're Americans.
I don't fucking sound like any of them.
I think it's because they're Americans. And
I don't even sound like Prince Harry. Prince Harry sounds like a twat. Prince Harry sounds like the kind of private school twats I had to play cricket with.
Oh man, I really wish that we had started the show when Spare came out, because I really wanted to talk about some of the degeneracy in that.
I mean, we can definitely do that
next episode. Next episode.
We got many of these to do.
We got many to come.
Well, sorry, I skipped through this, but this is already looking like it's going to be
my cup of tea.
Number one thing, yeah, definitely. Here we go.
Companion, your AI friend. However, the ad that led me in here is not displayed publicly.
Oh, here we go. We got sassy booby AIs
on this page. So to look at those ads, you need to go to a platform called Facebook Ad Library, which documents all the marketing campaigns that are displayed and published on Meta services. And very quickly,
I didn't know you could do that. So if you think something's sus, you can like look it up on the ad something, whatever he said on Meta, and you can see like where all these ads are coming from and like where they're being seen and stuff.
Oh, whoa.
You're going to notice that the selling points of this app change drastically. Which brings me to this image that I got on the ad. Sometimes all a person needs is that one missing piece. AI girlfriend, roleplay and flirting, voice messages, video calls, and NSF pics from her. And very quickly, you're going to begin to see the true market and the true target that this service goes for. Now, I know I just blew out my ankle and haven't left my place in like 2 weeks. And the place I order from on Uber Eats is now giving me free mozzarella sticks every time I get something from there. So yes, by definition,
That's an achievement. I want to develop that kind of relationship with my local places on Uber Eats.
Wait, what?
Where you order from them so much that they just give you free mozz sticks. And fucking, I'm well down for that.
Oh my
kind of
god,
relationship.
that's so
am down.
awful.
But I'm not AI girlfriend, roleplay, flirting, voice message, video calling, NSFW pics from her.
Wait,
down
pause.
bad.
I know what this guy's saying. I know it. I don't even actually. To be honest, I don't know what this guy's saying. What he's saying is like, I'm lonely. I've been held up for 2 weeks, but I'm not. I don't want to venture into like, you know,
AI
getting
debauchery.
AI booty calls basically, from like a made up fucking.
Wait, hang
girlfriend.
on. So wait, do you have to pay more for like romantic features?
Yeah, you have to subscribe and then like pay probably friggin', I don't know. At least I think someone said it was, in one of the articles we were watching, it was like £27 for 3 months. So it's like £9 a month or something like that.
Oh my god.
For generated booty pics and fucking naughty calls,
Oh my god.
which is pretty weird. But
Wait, it can call you and like.
yeah, video call you.
Oh my, and you can actually like
do a little
interact with it like you would like
Yeah, I
a
guess-
conversation,
I-
or does it like?
I
Is it
guess
just
so.
like a pre-recorded video?
No, I don't know. Good question. I think that
Maybe next week we should try and get it.
I think this guy's gonna go through all of it so we can see.
Experiments. My name is gonna be Andrew. Actually, I don't know if I want to do this because if I say it out loud, then the YouTube algorithm's gonna pick up on it, and then this video is gonna get recommended to all the weirdos that take him seriously. All right, problem solved. Our name is Tandrew8. And as you guys have promised me, we will not mention Tandrew 8's true name in the comments, because we don't want any of those weirdos in here. What would you like to call me? You know what? It's only fair that I give a massive shout out to the boys that have kept me fed all these weeks that I couldn't walk. Your name's gonna be Eat Me Kebab Shop Paris. All right, here we go. My queen. Oh my god, she's beautiful. I'm your
my
own
God.
personal
The
AI.
anima has
We can chat about
manifested.
any time. By the way, I like my name. Eat Me Kebab Shop. Oh, do you? How did you pick it? Well, you see, I got shot 17 times. I managed to dodge all of them, but the last one was gonna hit a munchkin kitten on the 25th floor of the building that was behind me. So I jumped up.
Fast
and
forward
blocked it with
through
my
his
foot.
like
I fell.
fucking
I was
cringe
in pain.
jokes. Fast forward through it and like show us the setup. How does it work?
Because
Here we go. So what?
like any other business, all
He gives him like some cringe backstory that sounds like a made up 50 Cent kind of vibe. And gave it a ridiculous name. But isn't it gonna like treat you differently if you take it seriously or not? I think that was kind of what one of the articles that we were
Yeah,
reading
should we move on
was
to one
talking
of
about.
those?
I think it
yeah.
was what was it? I think this one.
Yeah, we found this really
This
interesting
person
article.
was basically talking about how she. Oh no, this one, the insider one,
Yeah.
where they had tried like a whole bunch of different ones, and they didn't take them seriously, like in the chat, and kind of because it already had then that history of it, or even certain ones were linked to the history of other chatbots and stuff.
Yeah.
It could never actually formulate a serious kind of actual, because you're kind of making the consciousness, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're going to listen to that old Google researcher.
And you're sort of programming it to meet your proclivities
All
or
of the
whatever.
stuff that you're doing to interact with it is kind
Yeah.
of building it.
Yeah.
And building what it knows of you and what it can then, especially from these companies, like what it can then say to sort of trigger you in different ways and know your interests and sort of keep your attention.
Yeah.
Same fucking thing as we were talking about before, just another way to keep your fucking attention on your fucking phone.
Yeah.
And so this time she actually then took it seriously and sort of like gave it a proper name and interacted with it, and then it would actually start to proliferate and do all of the stuff it was talking about in the
Yeah.
in the cringe
Yeah.
in the cringe adverts that it was talking about.
Well, in these two articles that we found, one of them is of a person who sort of writes this confessional piece where he goes on about how he...
She.
Is it a she?
Yeah, it's a she.
Sorry, it's a she. My bad.
AI generated dick pics.
Where she basically talks about how she fell in love with the AI and describes it as the best thing that ever happened to her. And obviously I feel like it's abject and awful, but you get like a real sense of the loneliness that this person is feeling when you're reading the piece. So part of you feels kind of mean for being like, this is a pathological way of dealing with your loneliness. But at the same time, I feel like it has to be called out. Every like video and article that I've seen about it so far has kind of been like, don't make fun of people who do this because it's mean and it's wrong and you're like being quasi bigoted if you do, which isn't something that I buy.
It's like her come to life.
It is really.
It really is.
It really is.
It's crazy. And I think like kind of...
It's freaking me out a little bit how like people are already like kind of blindly accepting this as normal and also stigmatizing people who are like, no, this isn't normal. This isn't healthy.
No, other comments I've seen about it are sort of like, oh, I felt weird at the start, but now I feel like it's been almost like a quasi-therapist for me, which I feel like if you can feel like that,
yeah,
then I don't know if it's actually doing you any favors or if it's kind of actually just playing into validating you.
That's precisely what it's doing. That's precisely what it's doing because that's precisely what it's designed to do. Whereas a therapist isn't designed to validate you. A therapist is designed to look at you with like a critical eye. A critical eye, albeit like a sort of, I guess, accepting and compassionate eye, but a critical one nonetheless, because they're trying to help you grow and like get better. And that involves looking at your faults
you also
and your pathologies.
Not to
It should if they're a good therapist anyway.
Not to piss anyone off that's like, you know, a therapist or whatever and is like a good one. But you do hear of like people going to therapy and them also just sort of getting validated and stuff because
yeah, that's a thing.
They want clients and they want the person
to
come back.
I saw this really funny tweet where it was like, I miss when therapists were like old men with cocaine habits instead of like 27-year-old like women who will tell you that your trauma is valid or whatever. And I agree, that's how it should be, that there is this sort of industry of therapists that are kind of paid to validate the neuroses of like middle class like professionals, you know? And that's what they want. They want something that'll do that. They don't want something that will challenge them. They don't want something that will like throw their shit in their face and make them have to face it. They want something that's going to make them feel better. And if there's a fucking algorithm that's making money from you, that's literally programmed to give you like a dopamine rush.
Yeah.
So that you continue to like buy it, then like I don't see that as a valid form of therapy. It's just like narcissism, which is why as much as this like CEO lady is trying to present herself as this like cultural angel who went through great suffering and through that through her own ingenuity like transcended it, I don't fucking buy that. Like you're pushing heroin. You're pushing fucking heroin on children.
Heroin for the psyche.
Yeah, you're pushing fucking heroin for the psyche on fucking children, on kids. On fucking kids, yeah, that's not cool.
We've got some good comments on it. It's
not fucking cool.
So Sid said, I've seen people basically having to coerce the AI to send lewds. People, and Guillaume said, people even turned an AI on Twitter into N@Z.
What?
No, into okay. We can't say that.
Oh, we
YouTube,
can't say it on
so
YouTube.
Thanks for doing that. That's good. At some point, okay, that's crazy. I remember reading that as well. Where there was a chatbot where I think someone basically took the kind of an open source version of like a Chat GPT or something like that, and then fed it like r/poll and like all of the most toxic things you could, like 8chan, 4chan,
yeah,
and all that, and then it just would regurgitate the most like heinous responses to anyone that spoke to it, which does sound funny, to be honest, and exactly like what the internet
the
would do.
Apollo bot.
What Sid was saying, I just watched Lars and the Real Girl, and I'm planning on watching her tomorrow night. Her tomorrow night, the film that we were just talking about with Joaquin Phoenix.
For the moment we are facing. Yeah, we rewatched her recently, and I remember when I first watched her, I was in my early 20s, and I was like, oh, he's such a sweet, gentle man, and like he's just like misunderstood, and like this is really like a beautiful love story between a man and his GF or whatever, his AI GF. Yeah. But then we rewatched it recently, and I was like, this is like demonic. Like after having had some life experiences, I was like, this man is a narcissist. He's evil. And like Rooney Mara plays his wife in it, and it's so cute because they're like married in real life now.
Oh,
but
cute. I didn't
she's
know that.
divorced from him, and the thing is, she still has feelings for him in the film, and she makes that very clear. But he's not interested in her because of the kind of requirement it takes to be in a real relationship.
Yeah, basically.
And I remember there's like a scene where she says to him, you're sick. Like the reason you want this AI GF is because you can't handle the requirements of having a real woman. And I remember when I first saw it, I was like, oh, what a bitch. Shut the fuck up, Rooney
She doesn't
Mara.
get the new technology.
Yeah, I was like,
She's
she doesn't get
She's
like
such a boomer.
she doesn't get our cuddly like hipster Joaquin Felix, our soft boy, our innocent soft boy who's been hurt by the world and is just seeking comfort or whatever. But now I was like, I'm on Rooney Mara's side. Like she's fucking right. Like she's 100% right. And like, also another weird thing from watching it again was how normal it was when he confessed that he was dating an AI, and how just like seeing that world reflected where that sort of thing like is normalized. And then there's another article we want to show you as well. Should we move on to the other article? Have we lost our feed? Are we good?
Back.
Are we back?
We are back, but we are running on thin ice.
Yeah, we are. We
because
need to get another
the battery's
battery
coming out.
pack.
So
We're still starting. We're still setting up our
stream.
stream.
This is going to be like this for this first 2 episodes, where you might see some janky shit like the fucking camera giving out the fucking battery line and doing all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
We are still going to have to press the button every 30 minutes because that's like a new camera. That's like a different kind of investment. But I am going to get a power cable for it when I get fucking paid again in like a week and a bit. So next episode will probably still be janky. Episode afterwards will not be janky. It'll be all fucking. It'll be looking just as gravy, but it'll,
well,
you
anyway,
won't see this battery
speeding ahead so that we don't like not do the show while we still have some battery. Moving on to the next article. This is another article written from the opposite perspective, where this person sort of details the passionate love affair they had with the AI as sordid and kind of abject. And one really interesting part they talk about in it is the fact that, you know, they got bored of it quickly because they're not a narcissist.
Yeah.
Like the AI is a simp and it's like meant to flatter you. And like the reason why very attractive women are like contemptuous of simps is because there's something, the sort of magic of flirting and of romance is like the possibility of rejection, the possibility of fucking up, and then you feel even more elated when you actually do impress that person, or when they like do laugh at your jokes. Like for me personally, if they wanted to create an AI that I would fall in love with, it would need to like ignore me and like leave me on red for 3 days basically. Like that's what would need to happen. And like the idea of like falling in love with something that just validates you constantly, that's like inhuman. And like I don't think we should be encouraging especially very young people to view relationships in that way. Like imagine if you're already like a really shy boy and you don't really like talking to girls because you're scared of them, and now you can just like make your perfect little avatar.
Yeah.
Would you bother talking to girls?
It's going to completely destroy like
would you bother
the need for further social interaction and stuff. And I think sort of extrapolating so much of it, like your like living experiences online already kind of is a detriment to your social battery growth and fucking capabilities as a social human being and all these kinds of things. Like
Jake has his cameras, that's his analog cameras, that's his way of staying offline. And I have my journals. Instead of having an AI best friend, have a fucking journal. Start journaling. Do that instead. Like pick up a journal, like explore your inner monologue, explore yourself, you know. And then when the magical thing about a journal is like when you leave it for enough time and you go back to read it, it sounds like someone else, and it kind of is a way of connecting with yourself and like becoming friends with yourself.
Well, moving on, as we've spent enough time on this AI business, and you know, it is daunting and scary, and probably the future. But you know,
we'll probably talk more about it in the weeks to come.
There are also lots of other schizo things happening at the moment as well, to do with like all of these sort of Chinese spy balloons that have been shot down. I thought, honestly, that a lot of these other things that they said that they'd shot down in Alaska and all this other stuff were actually, you know, just balloons as well. But I think this video is about to tell us something different. So let's have a little look and see here and see what's going on.
The object was about the size of a small car, so not similar in size or shape to the high-altitude surveillance balloon that was taken down off the coast of South Carolina on February 4. We'll give credit to our pilots that they're very capable in terms of looking at an object, assessing whether or not this had the potential to be manned at that altitude, something that small. Very, very unlikely that it was manned. What you're asking is, did what we learned from the PRC balloon help us track this? Kind of a little bit of apples and oranges, right? In terms of NORAD Northcom maintains the ability to track objects. So again, they tracked this as it approached and entered into U.S. airspace. Again, we're still assessing what this object was. So I don't know that we learned anything new as a result of that, other than, again, I think we're all, to include the media and the public, very attuned to balloons at the moment. So
before we say anything about aliens, I just want to say that guy has one hell of a chin and like head.
He's got a very square, sort of like American-looking head, doesn't he? Like he
looks like a character from Metal Gear Solid in a way, don't you
think? Yeah, definitely.
American head is the best way of putting it.
Guillaume says, if the US lets balloons run amok, imagine Russian missiles. Yeah, man, tell me about it. It's pretty terrifying when you think about it like that. Like, I mean, how could they have not seen that balloon coming from before it was over anything? Do you know what I mean? It's sort of, in a way, it does kind of show how how fake and shitty the whole security thing is. Like, if anyone wanted to, like, they fucking could do whatever the fuck they wanted.
No, Jake, you don't understand. It happened on the 4th of February, which is my birthday. So it was Uncle G sending me a balloon as a present. Yeah.
And it just got lost along the way.
It just got lost along the way.
Oh,
Everyone needs to calm down. Everyone needs
it's
to
just
calm
Angie's
down.
birthday balloon.
Yeah, it's my birthday balloon.
Adorable.
I was like, so it was like on that day, on my birthday, I read that story while we were at the restaurant, and I was just like, damn, thank you for the balloon.
Well,
thank you.
Just not to veer off into like a very schizo way here,
but isn't that what we do? Isn't that kind of like the brand?
It is definitely what we do.
Isn't it the brand?
But I think like you know, the balloon was obviously a balloon, but they haven't really specified much other stuff about all the other ones that have come down. So I'll be quite interested to see what happens if any of them are actually like what we would actually deem as a UFO, like as some kind of craft of some kind. Unexplainable.
I think that's what we're all hoping for. I think that's what all the listeners of Mystic in the Machine are hoping for.
There's some potential for that there, but it's also just like kind of you know, we already have a lot of evidence and apparently a lot of craft recovered like that, if you believe all the stories like Bob Lazar and all the other things.
I can't do everything is a deep fake and do aliens at the same time.
Well, I mean, I think it's gonna
like AI generated deep fake.
It's gonna
reality,
be a hell of a decade.
Hyperstition, fucking like.
I feel like
it's too much. It's like Robert Anton Wilson and Timothy Leary, like on MK Ultra levels of acid.
Well, I think it is Robert Anton Wilson thing in the way that it's like it's not just one thing. It's like multiple crazy fucking things all at once, where you can't even really wrap your head around that simultaneously being the truth.
Yeah.
But when most likely kind of like the truth is something you can't grapple with, essentially.
Things are about to get fucking weird. I was reading this interesting thing about fashion. Like, remember those weird boots that you showed me? The big red ones.
Oh, yeah.
That look like the Astro Boy boots.
Yeah.
Someone wrote something about it where they were talking about how it's like a hyperstition, which is like when fiction like enters reality.
Yeah.
And because the current era is so hyper real and also obviously like something like a AI generated riot is kind of like a hyperstition in and of itself. Why not just wear hyperstition in real life and bring things from the world of fiction into reality, like through fashion, which I thought was quite interesting.
They look like Sonic the Hedgehog boots to me.
Why don't we all start wearing Sonic the Hedgehog boots?
They look weird. I don't know.
Why don't we all start wearing our favorite fictional character outfits and just like
I think it's going to be interesting when we get back to the moon. That's all I'm going to say around the UFO topic. I feel like it's going to be very interesting when we get back to the moon.
Jake has been going down some moon rabbit holes lately.
The moon is not what it fucking seems. Okay, like I'm not even fucking around. Okay, the moon is not what it fucking seems.
We need to send help, guys.
We all think that
Jake
we know what like stuff
Jake
is.
has gone off
but
the
it
deep
turns
end.
out actually, when you look at it, we don't really know how the moon was formed or like what it is. And like I was watching some crazy shit the other day, man, about how like the moon actually only
we can't go into it too far because we don't have too much battery life left.
That's true. Okay, well
we'll have to give you our crazy moon story
we'll go
in the Discord.
Yeah, we'll go fully into the moon in the Discord.
Yeah, in the Discord we'll give you the moon story,
Jesus
and you can.
Christ. If you find this this YouTube channel called the Y Files, check out his most recent video on the moon.
It'll blow your mind,
it'll
man.
Fucking blow your mind. It's fucking crazy. And not only that, it kind of it does link up with a kind of more of like an ultra terrestrial sort of explanation for a lot of the UFO phenomenon and all of this kind of stuff, which I think is really quite interesting.
Yeah, someone said we all embody our inner Pokemon gym leader.
The moon owls are not what they seem. Exactly,
Sid.
No, it's actually pretty freaky. I think the reason we project extraterrestrial is because we couldn't handle the concept of it being an ultra-terrestrial. Ultra-terrestrial is essentially something that has been here longer than us, or is like part of existence in a way that we can't really understand, which is why it's sort of part mechanical. You can find it on radar, find these IR camera videos of it and all that kind of stuff, but it's also equal parts fucking psychological and like crazy. You know? And well, not crazy, but like consciousness that has something to do with like the essence of fucking consciousness and shit like that. Like, I feel like lots of much smarter people than me have said this thing. I'm standing on the fucking shoulders of giants. On this one. This is really not like news or like anything groundbreaking at all.
Well, hopefully this episode has given you a taste of things to come and the sorts of things that we'll be discussing on Mystic in the Machine in the future. We want to make our day Sunday. We're doing it on Monday because yesterday we had some technical difficulties, so we did it today instead. But yeah, we'll keep you guys posted on our Twitter, which is the same as it's now Mystic. It's Machine Mystic 1 at Machine Mystic 1
on Twitter.
So you can keep updated with us there. And if you want to join our Discord, you can join us on Patreon, and our Patreon is patreon.com Mystic in the Machine podcast. You can find us there.
And just wait, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like, this is just me fucking ramshackling my shit on fucking OBS. Wait until my buddy gets involved and gets us all these swish overlays that he's got and these transitions and stuff. He's on the shit. He does that shit professionally, but like he's also a professional, so he's
a bit busy at the moment.
But
he's giving us
podcast.
He's giving us a bit of his time to help us out soon.
It will happen in the next few episodes when I get my power sorted and we don't get this janky fucking shit going along.
Yeah. So we will catch you. We didn't get to talk about J.K. Rowling, and I'm glad. I'm fucking glad. I'm glad that I don't really want to talk about Hogwarts Legacy. I really can't be asked.
I still haven't played it because I'm not spending fucking 50-60 quid on it.
Are you gonna crack it?
I'm waiting for Empress to crack it. There's a very famous like.
Are we allowed to talk about this stuff on YouTube? Are we gonna get Are we gonna get fucking?
No, it's just news.
This is the first episode. This is the first episode.
No, it's just rumors on the internet. I think
of our show.
This will be the last little thing. There's like lots of like, there's beef in the pirating community on the internet.
Yeah.
Between there's two people called Fit Girl and Empress, which I 100% both think are dudes. But they like crack all the games. and repack or crack the games, and that is apparently has a really big distinction, and I'm not even going to get into that, and that's like a whole other fucking thing. But Empress like won't fucking crack any games that FitGirl is doing, and all this other kind of beef and shit. Look that shit up on Reddit if you're even remotely interested in the beef of like the crazy people that pirate the games that you actually fucking end up cracking and stuff. It's quite interesting sometimes. But Empress is apparently supposed to be on the case cracking Hogwarts Legacy, but it has not happened yet. If you can look on Crackwatch.
Maybe they've put lots of pressure on them.
No,
they
so like,
them not to.
I think there was an initial crack for the pre-release, but then on the day one patch when it came out, it put a new layer of security in this thing called De Novo, which is like a really hated licensing mechanic for video games.
Yeah.
They updated it specifically to block loads of like strategies that Empress used to crack games.
Yeah.
So she was like had a big rage post complaining about it. It's like, I will get you. Hogwarts Legacy, you will be mine.
Oh my
It's
god.
like, yes, do it. I want to play it, but I don't want to spend 50 quid.
Yeah.
And not because I don't want to support fucking J.K. Rowling or any cringe fucking consumer fucking.
But I'm also not
you know,
enthusiastic about
ethics,
supporting her
moral-based
either. Like I
fucking
don't
bullshit
care.
like that, but
like it's just dumb.
It looks like an interesting game. I like open world RPG games, and you get to do magics. That sounds like fun. It sounds like Bully, but like now and with magic. It sounds fucking great. Sign me up. But actually, hope it's not going to have the writing like Rockstar, which is not, you know. But at the same time,
and I don't think there'll be as much like antisocial behavior going on.
Maybe. Who knows? It could be fun. Like,
maybe you can like Excalibur. I don't know what the Excruciatus.
You can't chop like a Hufflepuff's head off or something like that.
Oh my god. Well, we got to end the stream / podcast now. But for those of you listening or watching later, thank you so much. And subscribe to everything, find us on everything, and also
we should be everywhere, but you'll see us always first, obviously on YouTube live.
Yeah.
So that is always going to be the best way to see us. But you can catch us everywhere else. It's going to take a video podcast, or the audio only version will be everywhere else.
Yeah, it'll be on Anchor and all that good stuff. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.